Alban Lafont, who play in Belgium and Greece respectively. That being said, he does have a propensity for the occasional silly error or pretty lax goalkeeping, as I think we did see against Stellenbosch in their previous game. Probably should have been keeping out Makubu's shot that was quite close to him. Now De Jong combining here with Mofokeng. Feels Mvelase at his back, but still gets the ball away to Sibilibili. Continues on. Block tackle from Ungisim Bunjana. Now Zindoga. Given away to Andre De Jong, who does have 3 goals against TS Galaxy previously. All of them scored during his time with Stellenbosch.
You can see with TS Galaxy, so much pressure that you can see they're very congested, trying to make sure that Orlando Pirates are pierce through that midfield. But once you win the ball there, you can't try and play out in so much pressure there. You saw Mbunjani nearly got caught. They need to be very careful whenever they do win those type of balls in and around those areas. They need to find George maybe on the side of the ball, so that when you clear the ball, you clear to the person that can actually hold it on and help you get out of the pressure situation.
Chance for another goal here from the corner kick. Just taken short. Mofokeng trying to work the angle. Scored 2 beauties now against TS Galaxy over the course of his career, and he looks up, finds the space, tries to place it into the bottom corner this time.
So much space TS Galaxy has given Mofokeng in that regard.
Abduma! Oh, clever improvisation. That's Tape well positioned behind it. Zindoga with some space. Taking it away from Mbata. Well won by Nimtajela, who in the reverse fixture actually made his first Orlando Pirates start, having only appeared off the bench up to that point. Here is Nimtajela. Into Mbata. Sibilibili. Mbata again. Scored from long range the last time TS Galaxy hosted Pirates. Almost picks out Butuma here. Sibilibili slipped but recovered and gets the free kick.
It's going to be a long, frustrating day for TS Galaxy, finding solutions into that defensive structure, because you know that with De Jong, Mofokeng, they'll try and add more numbers into that number 10 position. But here's the first incident there when Butuma improvising very well inside the box. So they need to find ways as to then how then they're going to allow the 2 centre-backs to have the ball, or they're going to allow Nimtajela and Mbata to have the ball, because once it goes out wide to Sibilibili and Hoto, they will overload those sides and will become an issue. So they need to figure out as to then what is it that they're going to try to do. So it's going to be long, but they need to start working very, very hard as the game progresses.
In from Hoto. Not the best punch away by Tape. Stolen by Seluleka Mahlambi. That's a great run from Mahlambi, but Velasi knew almost instantly that was always destined to run away from him. Velasi, who had a very brief stint Pirates about a decade back, is playing his 14th league match against the Buccaneers this afternoon. It's important Velasi has only been involved in 2 wins, although he has scored a couple goals against them back in 2019-20 in a losing effort for Puluwani City, and then did manage to net last season late on in a 1-1 draw away from home towards the very end of the campaign, where Orlando Pirates had already ceded the title to Mamelodi Sundowns. Was actually Mandla Gazi's first game in charge after the departure of Jose Libero. Nimtajela hasn't started since that penalty shootout defeat to Kazakh Stars, unused off the bench in the last 3 league matches. Now Sibilibili. I wonder when we'll see him amongst the goals again. 3 goals in his first 5 appearances for Pirates, none in the last 19.
Yeah, he started like a house on fire when he got to Orlando Pirates, but I guess also maybe that's stop and go. Injuries has all played along a big role, but ever since he's been back, he's been, you know, commanding that right side place, and he adds so much numbers and he adds so much attacks in this right hand play. So he is coming back into this form very, very nicely.
Also interesting to note, it's been about 10 minutes since the red card, and Coach Beganovic has resisted the urge to bring on Fisher and to hook off someone else. At the moment, it seems like Tsepo Kakora has been redeployed in that position.
Yeah, I can see that, and it just to show you that with maybe Orlando Pirates have been clever enough, maybe they can actually exploit that type of side, because Kakora is a natural midfielder, but yet again you have Mbelase that doesn't have a problem to play in any position. I was maybe don't think that he might be the person that maybe can be deployed in the right back position because he's comfortable playing anyway.
Kosinat Sibisi, every Pirates player deep into the opposition half. Here is Celente Mbata. Up to the gates, pulling the trigger. Hit one of his trademark long-range goals as Mofokeng, who curled one in the previous visits to TS Galaxy, where they won 2-0. That was back in the late in October of 2024. But scoring about a quarter hour into the first half, although Tape may be slightly culpable for letting that one in. And then nothing he could do about Mofokeng's goal in the second half.
We haven't seen TS Galaxy things further onto the pitch, especially on the Orlando Pirates half, because they've been forced to defend. But this man might be very crucial in terms of going forward. We know how trickery is, Mahlambi, we know how dangerous he is going forward, his speed. Unfortunately, there's certain instances where you'll be forced to defend, but whenever they're in transition, that's the man that they can go to.
Ball in by Kakora, and Mahlambi, and a chance here for Sedwin George. He just hesitated. Mahlambi towards goal. The Buccaneers on the move. Mofokeng asking too much of Moremi. Sibang Moremi, another who has made the Bafana side for the upcoming friendlies against Panama. There's 6 Orlando Pirates players in the squad. Siema somehow still missing out. Of course, Sibisi is there, but Chain, who's just picked up the ball, was cut. Have a look at the earlier free kick.
Yeah, I think with George here took delayed, I think that first touch really just let him off, because then that's the ball that he could have used a little bit better. Then opted to Orlando Pirates to get into that transitional mode where we saw Mofokeng trying to play Moremi on, but they might maybe benefit from the set piece that they might get. That is TS Galaxy.
Now Mofokeng looking for options, rolled in for De Jong. Good save by Tape.
Great opportunity for Orlando Pirates. Good integral play with him really finding space, but look at the smart run there from De Jong. Realized that he was just behind Batuma, but because the defenders were looking at the ball and they're looking at to try and maybe defend the space, he just delayed the pass, delayed a little bit, and that's where Mofokeng was able to find him. But equally great save there from Tape, being able to pull that one off from De Jong, who was very clever, just to try and nip it in where actually Tape was coming from.
Well, Mofokeng this season has created the most chances of any player. He's moving towards 60 chances created. Last season, across the whole season, he created 69 chances. He averaged a chance every 33 minutes. This season, he is averaging a chance created every 24 minutes.
Maybe also the advantage of maybe not playing out wide and waiting for the balls that he used to last season. Now he can actually get into every attack that Orlando Pirates has because of this type of space that he finds himself in.
Dionado's delivery. A couple the players throw themselves at it. Be retrieved here by Siema. Amoremi. On the way back to Siphochane. Hugo Broos spoke about his omission, but chose more to speak about drafting in Lina and what it would mean for him. I think he skirted around the subject of change specifically. He has been the recognized number 2 for Bafana Bafana in recent years, but it is Ronwen Williams, Goss and Lina in the squad for the upcoming friendlies. Oh! De Jong can't work his way past Salatiel Silva, who's making a move upfield. Mahlambi now. Mahlambi goes down right on the edge of the area. Was about this mark in the reverse fixture in Orlando, where Nimtajela went down under a challenge from Mungisi Mbunjana that resulted in a penalty that was stuck away by Evidence Makupa. He's on the bench today.
It's unfortunate for Mahlambi because either side is speed full on the pass defensively. On the other side there is Hoto, this side as well as Sibilibili. Maybe try to play maybe more of a central role. Maybe can try and exploit Siema and Sibisi in that regard, because he's the player that will try to get him more on the ball whenever they are in transition. Unfortunately, he has to deal with the pace that Sibilibili has, and on the other side as well that Hoto has. So it's going to be very interesting to see who wins that battle.
There's Siema, will turn 23 next month. What a great acquisition by Orlando Pirates. 29th appearance in all competitions today. Oh, he's closing in on the number of appearances he made for Galaxy during his time there after being promoted in 2022. As Batuma goes down under that challenge. 30 appearances, by the way, for Siema, for Galaxy. Cut out by Solly Letsuenyo. Now Velasi under pressure from Mbata. Talent Mbata. He and De Jong not quite on the same page. Sibilibili via his head from Mofokeng, who tried to roll it into space. Slightly overcooked it.
They're trying to exploit this half spaces in between where Letsuenyo is playing and Silva on the left-hand side. Just in between there, but nonetheless, Mbunjana figured that one out and he really had a good cover there.
But it could have been a good opportunity, and if you're thinking about how deftly Mofokeng stuck away that free kick, he needed to be a little more delicate with the pass. That's good though, from Batuma, and then De Jong, and now Moremi. Desperate defending by Matlanga, who gets it away, making his 91st start in the league today, so he hit a big milestone against Stellenbosch just over a week ago. 90 top-flight starts for Matlanga. Best take by Mofokeng. Sets up on the edge of the area for Sibilibili. It will be another Buccaneers corner.
Yeah, on Pirates, you see that they did have some sort of good delivery inside the box. So we've seen Tappe being able to come out and trying to diffuse the problems that they have. Maybe for a lot of Pirates with 1 minute extra. Maybe play a little bit of a short corner. You know, free your men at the back where we know that Siema likes to go and Sibisi likes to go. Just a different variation might create an opportunity inside the box.
Just past the midway point of this first half, Dion Hotta puts it in. Tappe And then Mofokeng hits it first time with his left. Sedwin George hoisting it forward. Siema with a comfortable win and away by Salatil Silva. Now Mvelase holds off De Jong. Finds an out ball in the form of Mungisi Mbunjana. It's one away from 200 senior career appearances. Mungisi Mbunjana, top flight and cups.
He's been such a true servant of TS Galaxy over those years.
There's Mbata, who left Highlands Park for Supersport United. Remember, Highlands Park then sold their status to TS Galaxy. Could have very easily been a TS Galaxy player.
Yeah.
Here's a man who was Siema. He has played so many minutes this season in the league as Siema. Of the outfielders, he's played the most. Only Siko Chain has played more minutes than him. It's more than double what he made for TS Galaxy last season in the league as they clear their lines here. There's a tough task on his hands, Adnan Meganovic. They would already have been looking to play on transition, sit back and soak up the pressure.
Yeah.
Nothing will change fundamentally about that. It just, I think a lot of their weapons will be muted now. Being a man down.
Yeah.
Cut out by Mahlambi. Kakora. Mahlambi again, getting away from Sibisi. Well, the call would have come from second assistant Mervin van Beek if he felt there was a foul there, but it didn't. It's a throw.
You can see that Coach Cooley from the linesman who really was just next to the action, realizing that Mahlambi wasn't touched at all. He took it down, but I think it's the second time where he felt that maybe he was fouled on this other side where Sibili got involved, but this time around it's Sibisi. And I guess also he's so dangerous when he's on the ball. Yes, he's trying to win fouls, but you need to play according to the whistle, and with his cleverness, with his trickery, with his space, he can trouble Orlando Pirates defense, but he needs to be more on the ground, rather more on the board and on the ground than trying to bind the referee on the side.
Siema, Sibisi. Sikoche. Siema. Now Dion Hotter's involved. Moremi hit the post in the reverse fixture very, very early into that game against the Rockets. Just recently moved to double figures for the season in all competitions last weekend against Siwilele. It was 4th league goal, but it's 10th in all competitions. That's Tsvang Moremi. Tape. The Sueño. Tim Sukazi relentlessly beating that drum, regardless of the situation here. His side are into the final, or the semi-final rather, of the National Cup. It's the first time that they've made the last 4 of the Nedbank Cup since they won it back in 2019. They have a match coming up that they'll be at home against Milford, so a big, big opportunity for TS Galaxy to claim some more silverware. Now Sibisi Forced to turn it behind for a corner kick.
Good ball being played. Those are the type of balls that maybe trying to play more regularly once been given space and time. And this man on the ball here, he will be very key. But then the question always going to be, since he is the only person that looks like they might be used in transition, will he be able to have legs also in the second half to still continue doing the same thing?
Will be Mahlambi to take. Orlando Pirates one of 3 clubs yet to concede from a corner kick this season, along with Skikuni United and Durban City. Decently put in by Mahlambi, and Bombelase will feel he should have done a lot better directing that at least on target.
And also not one of the strongest hurdles rather from the team.
Yeah.
But he finds himself in a good position there. You can see zonal marking Orlando Pirates and also 1v1. But once you free yourself from someone and the ball is delivered very well, you are able to attack it. That's exactly what Velasa did there. Unfortunately, he didn't get it the way that he wanted to.
Orlando Pirates have been so defensively sound this season, but we are entering into the period now where they've been most susceptible to goals, although that's all relative. But in the quarter hour preceding the half-time break, they have conceded 33% of their total goals conceded. That is just 3 goals, though, 3 of 9. But still, this is the period where they are prone to conceding a few.
3 of 9.
3 of 9, again, just for context.
Yeah.
Oh, Zinoga finally plays it for Velase, who wanted it a bit earlier and then has turned and failed to locate Sedwin George.
Yes, now maybe in hindsight, I would say maybe you could have played George just on his feet, you know, on his stride, but also maybe trying to anticipate that, you know, they might close that one, maybe try and get him into the right area where he can actually be able to finish. So unfortunately, there for Velase, but he will get into those runs. Good ball being played between him and Zindonga. He wanted to find George at the end of it.
Those are moments that will not come around often.
Yeah. Unfortunately, they will come when you're tired, and then you still need to make the right decision when you get to those type of areas. So there's a lot that is required. That's going to be required from TS Galaxy players. Also
a wake-up call for Orlando Pirates, realizing that chances will materialize if they take their foot off the gas. Sipho Chain would love to keep another clean sheet. The 14 that he managed at the 20-game mark, a record in the PSL era, not just for the Buccaneers, but across all clubs. There's Mufokeng. For Sibilibili. He's lofted it up. And not close enough to Butuma. Mufokeng. But disguises the pass. Butuma! Save from Tape.
Beautiful football from Orlando Pirates. Such a composure there from Butuma inside the box. Look at the improvement that Butuma has. A totally different player from what he was last season. Of course, he should have buried that one in, but such a composure inside the box. Tape making sure that he keeps his team alive, pulling that save on. Orlando Pirates, they need to get that second goal. Just get a cushion in, because we all know Orlando Pirates, this game, it is still about the numbers.
Well, when you're collecting statistical data, you would refer to that. It would probably fall into the category of reasonably expected to score, which would make that a big chance. And Butuma is the player in the division that has squandered the second most big chances this season.
Unfortunately, but he gets himself in those type of areas. And maybe also like we spoke about earlier, so the type of things that really has done, that he's added into his game. Maybe this also should be one of the things that Butuma adds into his game, but he's since improved, becomes a better player ever since he joined Orlando Pirates.
Mufokeng, perfect pickup from Bata. Can't, like his colleague who set him up, find the top corner.
Great positioning there from, look at the pass there from Mbata. Composure that is shown there from Butuma. And yet again, unfortunately there for him, he was also forced to take it a little bit sooner. But Tape pulled a great save there.
Wellington Botha still looking for that first Betway Premiership goal of the season. Usually he would have tried to drill that low, which is how he has scored previously against this side. Slight deflection means will be Orlando Pirates corner kick. Mofokeng is over to take it. He's moved to 10 goal contributions in the Betway Premiership this season with that free kick goal, 5 goals, 5 assists. It's remarkable when you think he didn't manage any goal contributions in his first 6 league games. So he has 10 now in his last 13 outings in the league. Ball taken quickly by Hato. For Mofokeng, back to the Namibian. Stroked in without the required power, and now Moremi lifted back into the box, claimed by Tape. Well, last weekend, Orlando Pirates hit the target with frequency, but without very much rewards. There's Mofokeng, Sibilibili with the pace, and another claim on the Ivorian goalminder.
And also it's Sibilibili as well, one of the things as well that he needs to really work on, because he gets into those difficult situations where he has to really do a 40-meter dash, and to get into those areas there, I think you need to be able to find your teammates. Maybe a cutback maybe would have been the best option, but yet again you need to find Dion inside the box, you need to have Mbata inside the box, Butuma rather to be able to give you those type of options. But Sibilibili will ever find himself in those type of areas to add more numbers going forward.
Siema. Mofokeng. This is De Jong. Now Celestial Silva. With Sueño. Siema. Nicely stolen away from Zindoga. Botha for Sibilibili. Last weekend, only Moremi's shot about 5-6 minutes after the half-time break was the only one that went in against Sibilele of 12 shots that they had on target. That is the most that any team has had on target this season. And just for a bit of context, I will... there's him, Tajela. Places one towards goal, a little harmless. But just for context, last season, Orlando Pirates also had the most shots on target in a single league game. It was also 12. And on that particular day, they scored 8 in the 8-1 win on Christmas Eve against Marumo Gallants. The season before that, 2023-24, they also had the most shots on target in any single game. And they scored 7 goals. That was in the 7-1 win against Le Montfort Golden Arrows. So the 2 previous times they've had 12 shots. They scored 8 goals and 7 goals, and just 1 last weekend. There's Mbata. Puts too much on it.
I guess Orlando Pirates still dominating, which is expected. Getting to the right areas. Just feel like they get let down, but just small details of the game. It's either the pass is too hard or the decision making. They up front, they should be actually leading with much comfortably within the scoreline itself, but those chances that they're creating, they need to start being clinical if they really, you know, want to go on to the end of the season being champions. They need to find those type of opportunities, especially when you're playing against the team that you know is stubborn as TS Galaxy. With 1 man down, you need to be able to punish a little quick.
Okay. By the way, Sibilele currently building on what was a very good result for them last weekend against Orlando Pirates. They're leading Auburn College by 1-0. It's the only other goal around the grounds in the Betway Prem currently this afternoon. Arrows and Skukuni still level at 0-0. Durban City against Richards Bay coming up at 6 p.m. on your World of Champions. all our attentions here at the Mbombela Stadium. Orlando Pirates seek to go back to the top of the log. Mamelodi Sundowns in CAF Champions League knockout action against Stade Malien. That's why they're not featuring in domestic competition this weekend. Mufokeng ghosts away from Bunjana. Now De Jong! Another tester for Tape. And once again, he's come up with the answers. That is Pirates' 7th shot on target already.
And Tape putting another save from Andre De Jong just outside the box, where we've seen in numerous of occasions today rather, where Orlando Pirates have found so much space, really driving in with it, finding half space, being able to turn and get into those dangerous areas. This man here positioned himself very well, but Tape again keeps TS Galaxy into the game.
Otto. Moremi cracks it! Pirates eventually do find their second. Moremi scores in back-to-back league games. And Buccaneers cruising now.
And the set piece looks very, very familiar. I think we've seen one of them at FNB Stadium when they played Kaizer Chiefs. They did play a short corner from this side of the pitch. That resulted also into a goal. It comes again to Moremi again, find himself in that type of space. We spoke about it a bit earlier, Accident. They need to have different variations whenever it comes to set pieces, because Tape has been the one that comes out and be able to make those type of saves. But here, he finds himself very nicely, so much space in front of him, be able to pull the trigger there. But I think Tape could have done better, because you can see he went down a little bit early, but then he couldn't punch the ball out for safety.
Well, the Buccaneers came into this game having already scored the most goals from outside the area in the Betway Premiership this season. They've increased that tally to 9 goals from outside the area. That's as many as they got from range last season, when they also had the most in the Betway Premiership. But the kind of players that they have, they're slowly starting to establish